What up, YouTube? Overlord again. Quick update. Me and my man Reggie, we switched machines. You know, I had two Remix16s. Me and him traded evenly. I gave him the Remix16. He gave me the Yamaha SU700. He asked me to do a video to kind of show, you know, how to rock the Remix16, make beats on it, or certain features. So I'm gonna go over it. I mean, because it's really a cool machine. I mean, it's simple. You can make some really nice beats on it. I use it to store samples and run into my other machines, but you can use it to make dope beats. So that's actually what I'm gonna do right now. Give you a demonstration on how all that works, or how I like to do it anyway. So it's a phrase sampler. So what that means is it's a performance type sampler that you can do on the fly. Actually, after doing research, the SU700 is a phrase sampler as well. These are great tools used for remixing songs and stuff like that. So it was kind of designed in that fashion where you could remix songs and things like that. Not so much soul production, but just remixing songs, doing things on the fly, performing, live performance, stuff like that. So, without further ado, I like to run my samples into the Remix16, and I like to sample on the fly. So that's actually what I'm gonna do now. But first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna start off with chopping the sample. After I chop the sample, I'll do a loop. So I'm gonna show different ways to make a beat on this thing. I selected a song that I wanted to sample. And plus I like using it to manually chop my samples because it's a great tool for that too. So this first example is me manually chopping the samples and putting it to a beat. Alright. Now, first off, hopefully you can see all this great. When you turn the Remix16 on, it just comes to this screen right here. Typically this #1 button is lit when it's done. I'm not going to turn it off, turn it back on. It's just not it's not necessary to do that. But right now, it's showing a 1. And I can increase that. That's really my threshold. Is that my threshold? No, that's just the pads. What pad I'm on. But anyway, if I hit record, it zeroes out. So that shows my threshold. Zeros my threshold, which means if I hit a pad, it'll start sampling automatically right away. Now, if I throw the threshold up, I go up to like 100 on the threshold. That's, you know, until it reaches that volume or that level, it reaches that peak, and that number blinks, then nothing will be sampling. So just like on the MPC. So if you look at it, hopefully you can see this. It's blinking because it crackles. As soon as that hits, that drum beat hits, it comes on. So if you want to avoid crackles, you just take it up higher. Alright, there we go. Let's check out and see what happened. Got that first chop, so now I'm just gonna go ahead through and keep chopping.
Sometimes I think that we're destined for something. Maybe we might make it. With just one more day, I'm just trying to tell you, baby, I'm willing to love you, baby. How can I explain?
I think that's enough. Alright. Hopefully this ain't boring you. But So now I'm gonna trim that sample, because this is I want to adjust the sample point. So it's all about numbers. So it's no wave files or nothing. So everything is done by numbers. So if I hit edit, I'm at my trim window right now. This will take me to the top. I want to go to my trim. This is my start point. I want to do it fine because it's not that far I need to go. So that's fine. If I use the cursor inside, it goes by ones. If I do it on the outside, it'll actually go by tens or hundreds. Alright, so let's check it. Alright, so that sound like those chops. Alright. Cool thing you can do is, a lot of times I would use break beats or drums from a record for my drums. That's what I did in the past because I didn't have decent drum machines that had nice drum sounds. Right? And I wasn't really sampling drums at that point. So I would just take drum loops and rock my beats with that. But in this example, I'm going to take a drum loop, play it. Of course, you can't see the turntable. Bear with me. I'm going to take a drum loop. I'm going to play it. And then I'm going to use that for my timing, for my chops, to find the right drums. You'll see what I'm talking about in a second. That's perfect. Now the cool thing about that is you take a drum loop or drum break is you can use that for your timing. So, and what I mean by that is I can hit the sequence button, which takes me into sequence mode, and I can hit record. Now the minute I hit a pad, the thing will start recording. But of course, if I'm doing my chops, I want my chops to be on time with the beat. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play it to this loop and do it from there. Alright, So I let it play till it ended. So now, oh, let me hit stop. So that's my sequence. Now if I hit play, now the cool thing about that is I played it to this drum loop. So if I sample this drum loop in, it's already on time. So if I play the drum loop with the sample, it'll match. So let's do it. Alright, so it's already matched up with that. So now what I'll do is I'll take my sequence off, come back to the regular screen, hit record. I'm gonna sample that drum loop. I got my threshold set to 19. I want to see how it acts. I'm looking for this number to blink. Perfect. I can take it down a couple notches though. Notice this is blinking until the beat hits in. See if I caught my loop right. Alright, I doubled up on it. So I'm gonna erase it and do it again on the fly. That's my pride. I'm gonna do it. Let's erase that one. Real close. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna edit it since it's so close, and I'm gonna adjust my my end point. So this is my start point. So this is my sample length. And take it back to the full thing. I need to go to fine. I was on sample on a full thing, so I'm going to fine now. Alright. Go to sample length. Alright, my loop length is, I want to make my loop length as long as this can be. Alright, so I'm in loop right now, so I'm going to adjust the loop, the end point of the loop. Almost. That's it. So now it's perfect. So now I can come out and edit. Now I got the loop. Cool thing about this is since I had it on loop, I can have the loop play and do the same thing with the sample. So there's many different ways that you can hook a beat up with a sample inside this machine. So if I go to sequence Now you see I still have sequence 1. You got the 4 sequenceable tracks, right? So I got 1 set already. So I can hit record, that takes me to track 2. And because I did everything on time, I can just start recording this loop. And hit the whole loop button so the loop will continue to play. Now I'm not hearing the sample and the chops that I did because I really don't have to. Because it's already on beat. I know because I played it to that beat. I didn't adjust nothing to change anything. So when I play it, so it was already done to that track. So now what I can do is I can erase track 2, and if I play, I got my original one. So I can do it on the fly. Or now that it's on, it has a certain timing. I can sample just this kick and sample a snare and play it the way I want to the beat. Just hit my pat, 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 pat. So if I had a snare on another pad, I could just hit the kick and the snare and make my beat to it. So that's another way you can do it. Another cool way is I can erase sequence 1 and I can hit record, and once I hit a pad and it starts playing, it's going to start recording, correct? So check this out. I'll hit this, hit my whole loop button, now it's recording. Now I can do my sample on the fly all on one track. So now I only use one track to accomplish the same thing. So if I hit play, here come the chops. And if you look at it, you'll notice that the lights blink for the pads that I'm hitting at the time that I'm hitting. So I can look at the lights and I know what pads I hit to do my chops. So that's pretty cool right there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that same sample and I'm just going to sample a loop from that record. Alright. So I'm going to come out of edit, I'm sequence mode. Alright. So I got my threshold set up. 17 is good. So matter of fact, I'm going to put it right here. It recorded too soon, so there was a crack on there that was too loud. Now I'll try it. Again, too loud. So I erase this track and try it again. Now, so if you know how to count your beats, you'll know how to match your beats up. Now, let me explain. If you hit your edit mode, right, and what we're going to do is I'm going to the trim and I'm going down the beat. Now, if I hit this, and I'm gonna count my beats out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1. So it's an 8 count. Alright? So I would turn this number to 8 because it's 8 beats. Now, once I do that, I hit my cursor over, it'll let me know my sample tempo, which is 37.4, and I can set my new tempo. So now if I hit my drum loop, I believe that was an 8 count as well. So I'm going to turn that to 8. Now come here, I notice that it's 85. Now, one thing about that is you can't adjust it. You can't really go down. You can go up, but you can't really go down. Even on my new tempo, well, on my new tempo I can go down. But on my main sample tempo, I can't adjust that. So, what I'm doing is I'm going to meet this sample halfway. I'm going to go on sample tempo, on new tempo. Alright? And I'm going to set it to 80. Alright? And I'm going to adjust this to 80. It's going to be kind of bad. Alright, so it's 80.1. So I'll make it 80.1. So they're both at 80.1, so they match up. So you can match your tempos up really easy. So long that your sample is on point. All right. So next, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sample a kick and a snare, and what we're gonna do is I'll play the drums live to the sequence. So I'll find the drums that I want. I'll use the drums that I've been using. Now if I go to my sequence, you know that the last sequence that I did was this one that already had the sample in it. So I'm gonna erase that sequence and I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna play the beat and I'm gonna play to it. Alright. Alright, so that's my sequence is done. Oops. Alright, so now I'm going to sample individual drum hits. Same thing, got my threshold set. Alright, that's my kick. Could have got longer, so I'm going to redo it. has a little bit of that hi-hat in it, which is okay. So now I'm going to capture the snare. I'm taking my threshold down to 0 so I can catch it instantly. I'm even going to catch the hi-hat. That's the open hi-hat. So now I can go back to my sequence, play that. So you get the point. So I'll go ahead, hit record for track 2, and now I'll hit play. Or yeah, I'll hit play. So you get the point. So now if I play it, you'll hear the drums come in. But anyway, you kind of get the point. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, that's how I used to kind of like make my beats. So I had a lot of different ways that I could do it, and you know, so you can manually chop your sample, or you can just take a loop as so. And the easy way to do it is, once you know what your beat count is, this one is 8, that is 8. The new tempo is 80.1, tempo on this one's 8.1. And I can adjust that. So say I wanted to make it 70, I can make that 70. Whoa! Alright, this 70.2, I'll make this 70.2. So a lot of different ways to do it, and if I say I got a drum loop, sometimes you got a loop and the drums and the drum and the loop just sound good together, just straight through. And sometimes you might just want to use a scratch for the hook, so you could do that. You can go to your sequence channel track. Let's go to sequence. Oops, I'm sorry. Let's go to sequence. Erase these sequences. Now I get record, and now I can put these two together. So the cool thing about that is, on a remix, especially if you use it as an extra sampler, like I use it for Marvin machines, a lot of times I'll take chops in here, hook them up to drum beats, or hook my chops up and do a sample or sequence of the chop. For instance, erase this again. I will hit record and do my sequence of my chop. Whatever, and then I would take that performance, and I would sample it into my MPC or the MV, and then what I would do at that point in time is re-chop it again. So a lot of different things you can do. I mean, if you got two samples that play good together, like a string piece and a bass piece, you can sample those things together and play them, and then sample them into your machine and chop them up. There's just a lot of different ways you could do this, but this is kind of a quick overview of how you can rock the Remix 16.